Donald Trump, a name synonymous with controversy and bold decisions. He loves a good trade war. It's almost like a sport to him, a high-stakes game where he believes he can outmaneuver his opponents. But this time, he's picked a fight with a heavyweight, the US dollar, the backbone of the global economy. See, Trump wants to make American products cheaper. His goal is to boost domestic manufacturing and create more jobs for American workers. How? By weakening the dollar. It's a risky strategy. A weaker dollar means American goods are cheaper abroad, but it also has significant downsides. Like playing poker with monopoly money. The stakes are high and the risks are real. Trump believes a weaker dollar will make American goods more appealing overseas. This could potentially increase exports and reduce the trade deficit. But there's a catch, a big one. A weaker dollar also means higher prices for imported goods. It also makes imports more expensive for Americans. Everyday items could see price hikes affecting the average consumer, and that's where things get really interesting. The balance between boosting exports and managing domestic inflation is delicate. Trump's weapon of choice, tariffs, these are essentially taxes on imported goods. Those are taxes on imported goods. They make foreign products more expensive, aiming to protect American industries. He slapped them on goods from all over the world, China, Mexico, even Canada. No country was spared. The idea, make foreign stuff pricier. This should, in theory, encourage Americans to buy more domestic products, encourage Americans to buy American. But is it working? The results are mixed, and the debate continues. Well, that's a whole other story. The complexities of international trade and economic policies are far-reaching and ever-evolving. We're not talking about a few targeted tariffs here. This isn't just a minor skirmish in the world of international trade. We're talking a full-blown tariff tsunami, a tidal wave of economic policy crashing down on global markets. Trump slapped tariffs on over 180 countries, affecting a vast array of industries and economies. That's right, over 180. The reach of these tariffs was unprecedented. From tiny islands to economic powerhouses, no one was safe. Every corner of the globe felt the impact. Remember those iPhones everyone loves? Get ready for a price hike. Everyday items were suddenly more expensive. Tariffs on Chinese goods could add an extra $2,000 to the price tag. Imagine the shock at the checkout counter. And it's not just China. The ripple effects were felt far and wide. Vietnam got hit with a 46% tariff. 46%, that's nearly half the value of the goods. Even though the US trade deficit with Vietnam is relatively small, the tariffs were still imposed. Even close allies like Australia weren't spared. Long-standing relationships were tested. Australia, a country with a trade surplus with the US, still got hit with tariffs. It was a shock to many. It's enough to make you wonder, who exactly are these tariffs benefiting? The global economy was left reeling, and the true winners remain unclear. For years, American companies have been outsourcing manufacturing to countries like China. Lower labor costs, you see. A factory worker in China might earn $2 a day. In the US, it's more like $22 an hour. Big difference. So companies moved production overseas to cut costs. It made economic sense. But now, those same companies are getting punished for it. The tariffs Trump imposed make those imported goods more expensive. So, the very strategy that once saved them money is now costing them. It's a classic case of unintended consequences. And it highlights the complex web of global trade. You pull one thread and the whole thing starts to unravel. Remember the Great Depression? Yeah, that wasn't fun. Well, some economists see eerie parallels between Trump's trade war and a disastrous piece of legislation from the 1930s, the Smoot-Hawley Act. Smoot-Hawley slapped huge tariffs on thousands of imported goods. The result? A global trade war. Countries retaliated with tariffs of their own. Global trade plummeted and the world spiraled deeper into economic depression. Now, I'm not saying history will repeat itself, but it's a cautionary tale. Trump's trade war might be driven by good intentions, but good intentions don't always lead to good outcomes. Sometimes they lead to economic chaos. So where does India fit into all of this? With the global landscape shifting rapidly, it's a question that demands attention. Right now, India is in a tricky spot. The country is navigating a complex web of international relations and economic challenges. It's like being a bystander in a food fight. You might not be throwing the food, but you're definitely in the splash zone. You're not involved, but you might get splattered. The global trade wars are messy, and no one is completely safe. India could become collateral damage in Trump's trade war. How? By becoming an unintended route for Chinese goods. If China starts rerouting goods through India to avoid those pesky tariffs, it could spell trouble for India. Suddenly, India becomes a target, not ideal. This could lead to increased scrutiny and economic pressure. This whole situation highlights the need for India to focus on itself, invest in education, boost domestic manufacturing, become more self-reliant, strengthen its own economy. The American dream might be losing its shine. The global power dynamics are shifting. It's time for India to forge its own path. Embrace innovation and entrepreneurship. The world is changing, folks. The future belongs to those who adapt and evolve. The old rules no longer apply. Stay informed, stay engaged, keep an eye on the shifting tides. And buckle up because it's going to be a bumpy ride. The journey ahead is uncertain but full of potential.